Markets sink as the death toll from the deadly Chinese coronavirus escalates. U.S. stocks selling off as the number of people with that virus now estimated at more than 2,800. 81 deaths reported. In the United States, the fifth case of coronavirus was confirmed over the weekend. Let's bring in today's panel. Joining us is Yahoo Finance's Aikiko Fujita and Brian Cheung to discuss what this means for markets. And as one person pointed out, the coronavirus in many ways is a cold virus, but these can mutate and become quite dangerous. So what do we do to remain calm and carry on?
Well, let's talk about what this means in the context of the markets, right? Because last week we were talking about when this initially started, why are we seeing the kind of sentiment shift when something is happening over in China? But I think what you saw over the weekend is increasingly these new cases or reported cases popping up in the U.S., in Europe and other spots. And so now we're starting to see sort of the scale of this and the potential for it to grow well beyond Asia.
Right, and there's also the question of, okay, there's the dangerousness of the virus and its effect, and then there is the effect of the response to the virus, right? When you have the kinds of shutdowns that they've been doing in China, whether or not the virus is going to spread that much more, you're talking about a cut to business. So people aren't going to casinos, for example. And so we're seeing the casino stocks and the like affected.
Yeah, they've locked down the entire city of Wuhan, which for those who are not aware of how large that city is, it's a city with a population of 11 million, comparable to many major large cities in the United States. It's be comparable to closing off the entirety of Chicago. This is a big deal. From a production standpoint, obviously a lot of questions about what that might do from an economic standpoint, but important to note that it was actually a holiday in China. It was the Chinese Lunar New Year over the weekend, and it was already a federal holiday through at least Thursday this week. The government has since extended the holiday to Sunday, but actually companies were already closed through Thursday this week anyway.
So are the markets telling us they expect this to get worse because we're watching oil fall, we're watching, as you just said, the casinos in Macau are falling, and there's an expectation. I mean, oil has fallen pretty dramatically. There was one estimate we'd be between $60, $75 a barrel. WTI, I think, is trading around $52 a barrel. So the markets seem to be sending a message, okay, there's going to be some selling for a bit more time going forward.
No, I think you're right. I mean, just putting it in context, we're still talking about Wuhan, but we are talking about China, the world's second largest economy. I mean, Brian talks about production and the impact it's having on businesses within the country. I'm also thinking about during Lunar New Year, how many people travel? What's the impact to that, the tourism, all of that. And so I think the full economic impact is still, we haven't seen that just yet. And I imagine that is why I think investors are getting a little jittery, seeing that this was a big holiday in China, a crucial time, and we just don't know what the impact is going to be from the lockdown that we're seeing in the country.
Yeah, and to your point, we're also watching some of the transportation companies, airlines, cruise lines, and the like, which also have been under pressure.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.